I'm not supposed to be here right now. But I am because I learned how to advocate for myself. And that lesson saved my life. I was born with a fatal illness called cystic fibrosis. Doctors told my parents I wouldn't live past 18. I found that out early on when I overheard my dad on the phone quietly saying my life expectancy out loud. I was 5 years old. While most kids were dreaming about their future, I was trying to grasp that I wouldn't get one. The day after I heard my dad on that call, Make-A-Wish came to our house. I didn't fully understand what it meant, but I knew I was sick enough to get a wish. Most kids back then wished for Disney World. That was the default and had been prearranged. But no one told me that. So, when one of the men from Make-A-Wish leaned down to ask, Erin, if you could have one wish to go anywhere in the world, where would it be? Well, without hesitation, I shouted, Tahiti! I was a very exotic 5-year-old. The room went silent. After a couple seconds, that same man nervously cleared his throat and asked, how about Disney World? I had a follow-up question. Are there palm trees there? The entire room shouted, yes! So I grudgingly accepted the palm trees and a chance to meet Cinderella. I remember thinking, Tahiti would have to wait, but not too long, because even at 5, I knew I was on limited time. And time kept moving, even when I wasn't sure I would. For birthdays, I made it to 18, then 20, then 30. But at 33, my lungs were failing fast. Every day it felt as though I was drowning. One afternoon, I sat across from my doctor, armed with research, lists of ideas, different antibiotic combinations I knew others with my disease were trying. In the middle of that conversation, he cut me off and said, don't get emotional, but I'm the expert. If I thought it were worth trying, I'd be the one to suggest it. Then he said something I'll never forget. You should feel lucky for all the extra years you had. You should feel good about that. In that moment, I realized he'd given up on me. I walked out of that clinic like a ghost. I got in my car and broke down. Not because I was weak, but because I was so dismissed. The truth is, when the people we rely on stop listening, Whether it's a doctor, a boss, someone we love, it doesn't just dismiss our ideas, it dismisses us. You know that scene in the movie when you're like yelling at the main character, "Get up! Find another way!" Except this time that voice was coming from inside my own head. And it was saying, fight for yourself. So I did. I called every cystic fibrosis clinic I could drive to, any that would take my insurance. A few weeks later, I walked into Dr. Patricia Walker's office in Manhattan. She read my chart, looked me in the eye, and said, "I can't promise anything, but we'll try everything we can, and I won't give up on you." For the first time, I had a doctor who believed my voice mattered just as much as theirs. And that collaboration gave me something priceless: more time. 2 years later, I entered end-stage disease. And I strangely wasn't filled with fear or regret. I was at peace because I knew I did everything I could to live. But at the very last moment, as I was slipping away, a breakthrough drug was approved, and it saved my life. Because I fought for those 2 years, because I refused to be dismissed, I was still here to receive it. That's why I have the privilege of standing in front of you all today. Now, I know you may not be fighting for your life like I was, but I know I'm not the only one who's ever felt unheard, ignored, made to feel invisible. Think about your own life. Have you ever been in a meeting or at a dinner table where you knew something was off, but your voice was brushed aside? Advocacy isn't just a medical skill. It's a human one. Whether it happens in an exam room or a boardroom, being dismissed feels the same. But in healthcare, that kind of dismissal isn't inconvenient. It's deadly. In a recent survey, 93% of women said they felt dismissed by their provider. More than half reported it's delayed their diagnosis or made things worse. After surviving what I did, I knew there needed to be a simple framework anyone could use when they needed to find their voice, when it mattered the most. That's why I created the SOS method. S stands for say it out loud. I want you to lead with the words, "This is not normal for me." It takes all emotion out and puts the facts up front. Naming what's wrong is the very first act of advocacy. O is for open your notes. When you are stressed, overwhelmed, sick, your brain misses details. Write it down, type it in, record it. If you're in a doctor's appointment, ask if it's okay to use an AI recording app so you can look back on the transcript later. Clarity is power. And the last S is for support. Bring someone with you to back you up at appointments. And if you don't have anyone, ask for a patient advocate. They exist. Most people just don't know that they can ask. And if all else fails, I want you to use the most powerful sentence in medicine. I'd like a second opinion. Those 3 steps, they saved my life. They can save yours. Listen, there's always going to be people who don't believe in you, who give up on you, who ask what's your big, wild wishes and then dismiss it. Don't let them win. Use your voice. Advocate for yourself. Your life could depend on it. And by the way, I think it's time to make that wish come true. I'm going to Tahiti! Thank you.